So when you do these Facebook Lives, you typically wait to see if there's people who get on it?
Sometimes. I just like to give them, like, I don't know, a minute or two, because there's like a delay from the internet to this.
Oh,
so
okay.
you want to kind of give them, I guess it kind of speeds up the whole thing, and then they get to catch up. So, yeah, I give them a few minutes or seconds or whatever.
Can you see when people come on?
Yes, I can see, and I can see you. I can see when they comment. They'll be asking a question. They'll wave, all that type of stuff.
So we're going to wait a couple minutes, is what you're telling me?
Yes, we can wait a couple minutes. You can talk about. We got one person live right now.
Okay.
So, yep, Blake's on. Well, we got 3 people on now. 4 people.
So obviously here in Dallas, it's hot as hell. What's the temperature right now?
We have. Wait a second. We have 45% humidity, and it is 91 degrees in here.
All right, it's 91 degrees and 45% humidity. When it comes to the glass coating, we want to make sure the glass is cool to the touch, okay? Applying it when it's hot and when it's humid isn't necessarily a detriment to the process, okay?
Okay.
When it comes to the paint coatings, that's totally different. But when it comes to the glass coating here, I'm going to go over how to install it and what you should be looking for when you install it as well. This is kind of important. One of the reasons why I wanted to do this video with Landon is I saw Landon was going to do a Facebook Live today about the install of the glass coating, right?
Yes, sir.
This glass coating has been a very pleasant surprise as far as sales are concerned. About over 300 bottles sold in the last 9 days. So that's a good problem for me, right?
Right.
But
yes.
I also want to quickly get people up to speed on how to install this. This isn't just simply dropping a couple of drops on the applicator and wipe it into the glass, okay?
Right, correct.
So you and there's Carlos here. Let's say hello to Carlos.
What's up?
So before I got here, you and Carlos, you washed the glass, you clayed the glass.
Yes, sir.
Did you guys polish or you skipped
We did
that?
polish. We used a 3D1 and a white Rupes yellow.
Okay.
A white Rupes pad.
When it comes to prepping glass, you don't have to polish unless you want to. There's
Good to go.
You know, you can polish if you want to. There's dedicated glass polishes if you've got deep scratches.
Right, right.
But we want to wash the glass. We want to clay the glass. I want to talk about something I've never talked about before when it comes to claying glass. I always clay the windshield twice.
Okay.
I've learned throughout my career that when I think I've gotten everything off the window with the clay bar,
Right.
and I wipe the glass off, I go back in and I can always pick up a little bit more.
Right.
Glass is kind of porous, it's getting hit quite a bit from the elements, so
Right.
just a side point, I typically like to clay twice.
Okay, I like that.
After that, I will use isopropyl alcohol to clean the glass. A lot of people who follow me know I'm not a big fan of IPA on paint.
Right, right.
But on paint or on glass, it's absolutely fine.
Okay.
There's 70% isopropyl alcohol and there's like 80 or 90%. Don't overthink that. Just use 70% or 80% IPA alcohol completely straight. Do not dilute it.
Got it.
So go ahead, if you polish the glass after washing it and cleaning it, that's cool. 100% undiluted isopropyl alcohol all over the glass, and you're ready to go. Glass has to be cool to the touch,
Right.
and it's got to be absolutely clean.
Yes, sir.
When I give you guys the glass coating, you get 30 mils of product. I'm going to make a statement here. You're going to want to put 2 layers of TS2 on the glass, right?
Okay.
Typically, between those 2 layers, you're going to be using about 10 to 15 mils of total product.
Okay.
Depending on temperature and humidity, but around 10 to 15 mils. I won't be surprised if somebody uses half the bottle for the 2 layers that are required on the windshield, okay? So what I'm going to do is, I send it with these little microfiber suede cloths.
Okay.
Somebody asked me, why don't I send it with a block as well? When we're trying to apply a glass coating to the windshield, you've got the plastic cowling, you've got all this rubber trim that could be along the edges of the glass. It could be kind of intricate.
Right.
And when I'm trying to use a block, it just becomes cumbersome.
Okay.
So what I do is I take these microfiber suede cloths, I fold it in 4, kind of like a microfiber towel, right?
Right.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the glass coating onto the cloth. When I apply the glass coating for the first layer, I want to be kind of heavy with it.
Okay.
I want the cloth to be wet.
Okay.
Not a couple of drops on the cloth and you go to wipe it in the glass, because if you've only got a couple of drops on this cloth, as you're wiping it into the glass, you're actually going to be buffing it off.
Okay.
We want to leave residue on the glass. When you apply this, you need to see residue left behind.
Okay.
And you'll see it throughout that 5-minute wait period before you can buff it off.
Okay.
That make sense?
Right. Yes, sir. Yep. Got it.
So I'll take this top off and I'll put some TS2 on the cloth, and I'm gonna get it pretty wet. I want that cloth wet.
Okay.
So I probably used about 4 or 5 mils right there alone.
Okay.
I'm gonna spill this, but I'll try to do this with one hand.
It's okay. We can give it to Carlos if we need to.
So when I put it on the glass, you see the residue that's kind of being left behind? You see how it's streaky?
Yes, sir.
So obviously I'm gonna put a little bit more on the cloth. It's very hot today, so it is kind of affecting the coating.
Right.
But I'm gonna put it on. You can do circular motions, you can do whatever you want, it's totally up to you. But you want to see residue left behind. Our lighting's not all that great, but I can see it's kind of rainbowing and we've got some residue behind.
Right. No, I'm tracking.
Can you see it on the camera?
No, I can't, but I'm thinking about. Hey, can you kick your foot in front of the garage door, little sensor? Maybe that'll turn the light on. I don't know. Yeah, maybe that'll help. Yeah, maybe that. There we go. Yep. Okay, I'm picking it up a little bit. There we go. Yep.
You see that there?
Yes.
You see how it's still streaky?
Yes.
I'm not necessarily trying to buff it off. I want to leave that residue behind.
Right.
Make sure you get all surfaces of the glass there.
Okay.
I'm only going to do this one portion here, and you guys can finish up.
Okay, that's fine.
But when we look down at the glass, I can see it without the. Obviously, I don't know if they can see it on the camera, but there's some residue left behind.
I'm gonna try to get around. Maybe we can spot it. Let's see. Yeah, it's hard to see, but it's very. If y'all look, if I was able to get the light right, you would be able to pick up some streaking, but it'll be noticeable. It's very noticeable.
Okay. So obviously, we're just doing a small area of the windshield.
Right.
To kind of give a demo here. But it's on the glass. I can see it. I can see all this residue that's left behind. It's starting to rainbow a little bit. That's good. That's what I would want to see all the way across the windshield if I was doing the whole windshield, right?
Right.
Now we're going to wait 5 minutes. Actually, you can see the residue quite a bit on this black border here with this tint.
Yep.
Can they see that residue there?
Yes, I can get that.
Okay,
yep,
so you want to see that all over the glass.
Right. Yep.
In person, it's kind of easy to see. They'll see it quickly.
Yep. No, I'm picking it up.
But if you only put a couple of drops on the applicator and you go to rub it in the glass, you'll actually be buffing it off as you're trying to put it in the glass. You don't want to do that.
Okay. Roger.
So you want that applicator to be wet.
Yes, sir.
Get it all over the glass. Wait about 5 minutes. Do we want to wait for 5 minutes or what? During this live, we're going to kill these people.
I guess. I don't know. Unless you got some more stuff to say about it. I mean, but this is pretty much the general basic idea. So 5 minutes and then...
Yeah, we're going to wait 5 minutes and then we're going to buff it off. It's going to be very easy to buff off. It's really, it's effortless as far as I'm concerned. Again, when you go to buff off, you want to see that residue. It's going to be slightly hazy.
Right.
And as you buff it off, obviously the glass is going to become very clear. It's going to become very smooth. It's going to become very slick.
Right.
And then what we do after that is wait 20 minutes and do the whole application over again on the windshield.
Now, when we're doing it on the windshield again, are we applying it super heavy again, or?
You don't necessarily have to put it on super heavy on the second layer, but you want to see some residue on the glass.
Got it. Okay. Got it. Roger.
The first layer, I call it the heavy layer or the wet layer, if you will. That's going to be the potent layer on the glass. That's going to give us the hydrophobic nature. It's going to increase clarity. It's going to reduce glare. That second layer, the reason why we put 2 layers of TS2 on the windshield is because we got windshield wiper blades that are going to be running up against this glass at some point in time.
So that's going to cause chatter then, right? Or no?
Not necessarily chatter. I'm worried about the friction from the blades. If we only put 1 layer, we may not see up to 2 years of durability because that wiper blade's pretty aggressive against the coating. The coating is designed to be able to handle or withhold back the friction from the blade. But we want 2 layers on there to give us that little extra power or punch to be able to fight off the friction.
Right.
When we're doing side windows around the car, you only have to put 1 layer on the glass.
Okay, that makes
sense. You should be able to get up to 2 years of durability. We don't have windshield wiper blades going up against that.
Right.
Somebody might say, but I'm not going to use my windshield wipers, right? Well, if you're driving at 20 miles an hour in bumper-to-bumper traffic and it's raining, you're still going to have to use your windshield wipers.
Right, correct.
You'll start to see the water blow off the glass when you get up to about 30 miles an hour.
Right.
Or higher. So, but the beauty of the glass coating, as far as I'm concerned, yes, we want it to be hydrophobic. That's really cool. I love it for its clarity. There's times I sit, if we clean the inside of the windshield right, and this has been applied right, when I'm sitting inside the car, it almost feels like I could put my hand through the window. I can't even see where the window begins.
That's crazy. That's insane.
And then I also notice at night, if I'm driving and there's somebody coming at me with high beams on, or in a back road here in Texas,
Right.
The glare won't be so intense. So that's kind of cool too. So there's some safeties at night with it too.
Right.
So
Definitely.
basically, we would wait 5 minutes. I think we're probably not at 5 minutes, but we're close enough to it for the demo anyway.
Yes, sir.
Wait 5 minutes, have a low nap towel,
Yes, sir.
or a glass towel, waffle weave, whatever you want to use, and you're going to simply buff this off. When it comes off with no effort at all.
Right. I was gonna say that looked easy.
Right. There's no pushing and pulling here. There's nothing fighting you. Actually, I can feel how smooth and slick this glass is, and where we haven't applied it, it is very gritty. But if I come over here, it's slick as can be.
Interesting.
And you just want to pick up that residue,
Right.
and you're good to go.
So it's pretty simple.
What's that?
That's pretty simple. I forgot to ask. TS2. I don't know if I asked. What is TS2? Why is it? What does it stand for?
So a TS2 means titanium storm, and up to 2 years of durability. The number is going to tell us how long it's going to last.
Awesome. I like that. That's a sweet name.
Yeah. So that's that. It's really, really simple. So we're going to wait about 20 minutes, and then we're going to apply another layer. The second layer doesn't have to be as heavy as the first, but we want to see some residue left behind.
Okay.
Holy cow, Texas heat is bad today.
Yep.
But that's the beauty of TS2, very easy to apply. You don't need a secondary chemical to remove it. Obviously, we want to be at direct sunlight when we do this. The glass has to be prepped properly, cool to the touch.
Right.
No secondary chemical needed to remove residue. You don't have to use, I've used glass coatings before in the past where you had to use you might even have to get a microfiber towel slightly wet to be able to remove the residue.
Right.
None of that at all. You don't need to use a glass cleaner to get it off. It's pretty simple.
Okay. Sweet.
Once you've waited the 20 minutes and you put the second layer on, I'm actually going to raise my skirt here. You only have to wait 20 minutes and you can expose the coating to the elements.
Get out of here.
It bonds incredibly fast. I'm asking people, and I talk about it on my website,
Right.
to wait 4 hours. I'm being overly aggressive there.
Okay.
But if somebody said to me, Scott, I've applied the glass coating, I didn't see rain was coming, and I need to use my car within a half hour, you are good to go.
Right.
I want you to wait the 4 hours, though. There's nothing wrong with allowing it to cure even a little bit more.
That makes sense.
But technically, from a scientific point of view, 20 minutes is all that's required. You can actually use the wiper blades 20 minutes after as well.
Okay. Wow.
But I say keep it dry for 4 hours if you can. If you can't, just keep it dry for 20 to 30 minutes and you're free. You can go.
Okay.
And after that, it's pretty simple and straightforward. Do you guys have any questions?
You got anything? You got anything, Carlos?
It's very simple.
Okay. Think you can do it?
Thinking it.
You're overthinking it. Is all I'm gonna ask? I'll ask one question. Is there a temperature that's too low to apply this? Is there a temperature too cold to be applying this?
There's a temperature that's too low to apply anything as far as coatings are concerned, whether it's paint or it's glass coatings. Really, anything below 40 degrees can get really tacky.
Okay.
Prosumer coatings, whether we're talking about pro coatings, we're talking about pro glass coatings. The perfect temperature range for this is 45 to about 80 degrees.
Okay.
When we get over 80 degrees, obviously we're over it right now. I mean, look at me, I'm sweating and I'm hardly working.
Right.
You might have to work in smaller areas and just watch your flash time. Now again, the glass coating shouldn't flash. When you put it on, you want to see that residue staying left behind on the glass.
Right.
If it's flashing and disappearing, that's a good indication you don't have enough on your cloth. You're kind of too dry.
Right.
And as you're putting it on, you're actually buffing it off at the same time. So you want to overcome the cloth with a lot more solution on it than you would think.
Right. So
go ahead.
No, I was like, for me, I'm just thinking if I'm doing it, which I have done it, but if I was new, I'm just gonna soak the cloth. Just make sure you have a happy medium.
Saturate the cloth. There's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. Again, I find myself between the two layers that are required for the windshield, you're going to use probably half the bottle.
Right.
Today, you're definitely going to use half the bottle because it's so freaking hot and humid.
Right.
But let's say it was perfect. Let's say we were in an air-conditioned garage. It was 70 degrees, no humidity. We'd probably use about 10 mils of the product.
Wow.
And have about 20 mils left over to do maybe another windshield or all the glass around the car, whatever. I typically, to be honest with you, TS2 is great. I like it on the windshield. I personally don't put it on the side glass in my car.
Right.
I'll use Armor or Kingsguard for that every time I do a maintenance wash or just spritz a little extra.
Right.
I think for a pro that wants to hold on to TS2, I think the advantage is really going to be seen for their clients anyway, the windshield. And with one bottle, it's easy to get 2 to 3 windshields out of it with the 2 layers that are required for each windshield.
Okay. Very cool.
And I think at $39.95, that's a really nice price.
I agree. I think that's awesome. It's a steal.
It's really nice. You know, it's hydrophobic. And somebody asked me in the group, how fast do I got to get before I start seeing the water just blow off the glass? Depends. It depends on. I mean, I know some windshields, like on a Jeep, where the windshield's almost straight up and down. You might have to go a little bit faster than 30 miles an hour. But if you got a windshield that's got a nice angle to it, about 30 miles an hour, you'll see that water start to fly off the windshield. And as far as chatter is concerned, this is really cool. When the chemist and the formulator were talking to me about this glass coating, they were talking about some glass coatings on the market being so incredibly slick after you buff them off. And I think as consumers, we think that's... Thanks, Landon.
You're welcome.
I think as consumers, when we touch the glass and it's really, really slick, we're like, oh my God, that's great. There's something you have to think about. The wiper blades actually do have to grab and grip the glass. It's got a motor that's pushing the windshield wiper blade across the glass, right?
Right.
If the glass is overly slick and that blade cannot grab the glass or the coating now that's on it, the blade's going to skip across the coating, and that's going to cause the chatter.
Interesting.
That's what happens there.
Okay.
So this has got a really nice balance of being slick but not overly slick where it causes the blade to jump. Somebody may ask, what about the wiper blades? It's a great question. I'm glad you asked it, Landon.
Okay, thank you.
This is a perfect time to look at the wiper blades. If your wiper blades are crappy, kind of chewed up, get rid of them, put new blades on.
Okay.
If you have nice blades on your windshield wiper arms, you can clean them off with IPA. Okay, and if you want to put a little bit of TS2, the coating on it, I've actually just applied TS2 to the edge of the wiper blade and don't even buff it off. Just let it kind of soak into the rubber blade. It's perfectly fine.
That's cool.
If you want to buff it off, that's cool too. It doesn't really matter. Just a small layer is fine. Sometimes I do it. If I've got brand new blades, I just make sure they're clean. I don't even put a coating on it.
Right.
I just make sure I get the coating on the glass and I'm fine. I have never... It's been on my windshield now for over 6 months, and I have never heard the blades chatter or jump or anything at all. So,
wow.
And I find myself not using a glass cleaner either. I'm pretty diligent about washing my car. I don't use a glass cleaner on it. I just use soap and water and blow it off with a power washer, and the glass just seems to be easy to clean. I may every once in a while just shoot some Kingsguard on it. If somebody says, how can I maintain it? You can put Kingsguard on it. Somebody asked a really great question in the group the other day. What about windshield wiper fluid? What kind of windshield wiper fluid should I be using in the car when I've got TS2 on the windshield?
Right.
One of the things we want to do is just use a normal, straightforward windshield wiper fluid.
Okay.
There are windshield wiper fluids out there like Rain-X that have hydrophobic properties they try to leave behind on the glass.
Right.
Not that those are necessarily bad, but every once in a while, whatever washer fluid you choose to use, that hydrophobic agent they have in it might kind of play a game of tug of war with the coating.
Okay.
And it can get streaky. So it's always best just use regular washer fluid. Stay away from the Rain-X that's got the hydrophobic stuff in it. You've got all the hydrophobic nastiness or goodness you want on the glass. We don't want to be throwing another agent on top of it that can make the glass get a little streaky.
That makes sense.
It's a rare situation, but it can happen.
Very cool. Very cool. Somebody was mentioning, what about a rinseless wash?
Rinseless washes on it is
wiper
fine.
fluid for the wiper fluid. Or no? Would that be something you recommend? Maybe not. Maybe I don't. Somebody just was asking it.
Depends on the rinseless wash, right? A lot of them are going to have polymers in it. I wouldn't put a wash and wax or rinseless wash and wax inside my windshield wiper fluid with the coating on it. We don't want any type of natural wax coming in contact with the coating.
Okay.
But I've never put. Like people would put Revive or O&R inside their windshield wiper fluid?
I don't know. I've never done it. Somebody just asked a question, but I mean, see why not? It's not a bad one. Yeah.
But I think we've covered it, right?
Yes.
The application, Make sure the pad is wet when you apply it. You want to see residue left behind while you're waiting that 5 minutes, and then you buff it off. Wait 20 minutes and do the second layer on the glass. After that, really technically you can expose the windshield to the elements within 20 minutes. I do ask that you wait 4 hours. That's really that's the end of its curing period. The initial curing period is 20 minutes. It's absolutely dry, what we call dry to the touch at 20 minutes. And then 4 hours is its full cure time.
Right. Okay.
So I just made it simple for everybody and said, hey, just keep it away from the elements for 4 hours. If you can do that, that's great. If you can't, at least wait the 20 minutes.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Sweet.
Is anybody asking other questions? Or?
No, there's been a lot. I'll have to go through them and sort through them.
Oh, there's a lot of questions.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions. I've been trying to focus and listen at the same time. So.
Is there anything else we could think of?
No. You got anything, Carlos? Good?
No.
Okay.
Pretty
Cool.
simple, straightforward,
Yep.
right?
Yes, sir.
And I appreciate it. I'm grateful. It was a pleasant surprise. I think, did we film that before when I told you how many bottles we sold?
No.
So in 9 days, I sold almost 300 bottles of TS2. That was a surprise to me. It was a pleasant surprise. We're about 12 left in stock. We're actually bottling right now as we speak because we've got like dangerously low. So we're trying to get as much back into stock as we can. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to be here when you did this, because one, I wanted to tell people I'm grateful for the amount of glass coating that they're buying, but I wanted to show them what they should be looking for, and they should hear it from me.
Yes, sir.
After that, it's pretty straightforward.
Cool.
Can't think of anything else. I don't want to overcomplicate it.
Awesome. All right.
All right.
Cool. All right,
Talk to
sir.
you guys later. Love you so much.